Why hello there internet, I'm CST from the Guild of Awesome, and today we're going to complete the House Hlaalo questline in Morrowind. Before we begin, be aware that you can only join 1 out of 3 great houses per playthrough. You can use glitches and console commands to join all 3 houses, but their questlines will eventually conflict with one another, and it becomes a nightmare to manage. So for the sake of these videos, I'll be treating these house questlines as if you're doing them on separate saves. If you don't want to join House Hlaalo, I'll be doing the other 2 great houses next. House Hlaalo is made up of wealthy merchants, some honourable and others corrupt as hell. Most of our quests here are to help Hlaalo gain power by sabotaging the other 2 houses. Head to Balmora, and as always before we start, make sure to buy the Mark and Recall spell from the temple. Use the Mark spell to mark a spot on the map, and then use Recall to teleport back to that point. This will make travelling back to quest givers so much easier. Our first quest giver is here in Balmora. Head to the Hlaalo building on the west side of town. Speak with Nilino Forvain for our first quest. If you're an Argonian or Khajiit, then this quest gets skipped, as we are asked to wear a disguise which would not work if you had a tail. Our first quest is to wear a disguise and intercept some orders from House Redoran. Equip the helmet you were given and Siltstride to Algrun. Head into the Redoran Manor and speak with Naminda. Say the code phrase Orphan of Anesia, and she'll hand over the orders meant for the Redoran agent. Take the orders back to complete the quest. For the next quest, we are asked to steal an alchemy formula from Arane Faranis in Vivek. This is very difficult to steal, so you may want to buy an invisibility potion or spell. Siltstride over to Vivek and into the Foreign Quarters Wasteworks. Head into Ariane's store, and there are 3 formulas that we can steal. We only need 1. 1 is on her table, another is in a chest by her bed, and the last one is in her inventory, ready to be pickpocketed. Yes. I try to turn her away from the table and steal the one there. Take the formula back to complete the quest.
What do you want, Outlander?
Our next quest is to sabotage an egg mine in Saran. We actually have a few options for this one, which will change which rewards we can get. The best method is to speak to the egg mine's owner first, Avon Oran. His manor is in the south side of Saran. Speak to him about the mine and he will pay you 1,000 gold to leave it alone, but there's no consequence for killing the queen in the mine anyway, and when we go back to Nileno we'll get the full reward. The mine is only a short walk east of Saran. Head inside and kill the queen, then head back to Nileno to complete the quest. Our next quest is to convince a trader to only buy their Guar hides from House Hlaalo, instead of House Redoran. Siltstride over to Vivek and head into the Foreign Quarter Wasteworks. Boost Rolas's Oren's disposition to above 80 to get her to agree.
Go ahead.
Recall back to complete the quest.
What do you want of me, Outlander?
Our next quest is to simply deliver some orders to a spy in Aldrune. So let's ride over and head into the Manor District. On the left side we can find Bivale Teneran. Hand the orders over and then recall back.
Speak, traveler. What is this regarding Cyrodiil? I don't know where to begin. It is such an honor to meet you.
Our next quest is to find the murderer of Ralen Hlaalo. We may have already found the body during the Thieves Guild questline. Head into his manor just across the road to find his body. We can find a servant hiding in a room upstairs. She will describe the murderer as a dark elf with red hair. This will point us towards Fanalan Velas in the Balmora Council Club. Taunt him into attacking you and then kill him.
You Inwa.
Head back to Nileno to complete the quest. For her final quest, we have to convince the East Empire Company to keep House Hlaalo as their ebony supplier, since they have threatened to go to House Redran instead. The easiest method is to simply go to Gentian Ponius and convince him to stay with House Hlaalo. Take a boat over to Evanhart and head into the East Empire building. Charm Kantian, so his disposition is above 75.
Greetings to you.
The next step is optional for an extra reward, or if you do this then you won't need to charm Kantian. Instead, as well as charming him, we can shut down the Sundiat's mine by killing the manager of the mine. The mine is southeast of Aldrune. Head inside and kill Darn's Tedelan. Once he is dead, recall back to complete the quest.
You will die.
Now head to Vivek and enter the wasteworks on the Hlaalo Canton. Our next quest giver is Reynel Uvirith.
Go ahead.
Her first quest is to deliver a report to Baron Allen, who is literally just across the corridor.
What words do you have for me, citizen?
Our next quest is to collect some gold from Murudius Flaeus at Hlaalo. You can just pay the gold yourself, but if you want to recover the gold, remember to use the mark spell before setting off and then take a boat over. Go into his house and we have three options. We can boost his disposition to above 90 to convince him to give you a key to his chest, which contains the gold. You can also intimidate him into giving you the key, or you can just picklock the chest and steal the money.
Reasonable prices for top quality magic.
For our next quest, we are asked to escort a merchant from Vivek to Peligate. The merchant is just outside the north bridge of Vivek. Save before we start the escort, as he can get stuck in the environment. Otherwise, this is an easy walk northwest of Vivek. Once we enter the tavern, the escort is complete.
Thank you.
Recall back to complete the quest.
Haven't I heard of you?
Your actions precede you, Outlander. I've heard good things about you.
Next, we're asked to check on a party that went to Odirniran to slay a Telvanni mage. The cave is east of Mologmar. Once inside, speak with Remasa Offeril to learn her sister has been captured by the mage. Kill the mage at the top of the tower first. Once he is dead, take the key off his body, and then free Fidelia. You'll need to escort her back to her sister.
I'm listening. Go ahead. Yes, Outlander? What is this regarding Cyrodiil?
Now recall back to complete the quest.
What do you want of me, Outlander?
For top quality magic.
Our next quest is to kill Yingling half-trolls game rats, as they have contracted a blight disease. You may have already done this during the Thieves Guild questline, in which case this quest gets skipped. Head on over to Yingling's Manor at the top of the St. Olm's Canton. You will have to leave the healthy rats alive. Luckily, the healthy ones don't attack you, so you can lure the diseased ones out, and then kill them away from the rest.
Your attention, Outlander.
Quality magic.
Next, we are asked to convince an Ashlander clan to trade ebony exclusively with House Hlaalo. Take the boat over to Voss, and then head southwest to find the Zainab camp. Speak with Gulakan Ashabal and say that the Zainab are now strong enough to sell ebony, and then say if we both sell ebony, the price will drop, and then he will agree to our request.
Oh,
Reasonable
wonderful.
prices.
Welcome,
for top
Outlander.
quality magic.
We are next asked to recover a Daedric Wakizashi from a shipwreck. Take a boat over to Telvanni, and then head west to find the Prelude shipwreck. We can find the Wakizashi on the lower deck inside a chest. The key to the chest is on the corpse in the same room.
Friend, you're nearly a legend around here. Please, talk.
Ralen's final quest is to guard Ralen Tilvur's store, here in Vivek. His store is being broken into, and he wants us to catch the thief. Head to the Foreign Quarter Plaza and speak with Ralen about the thief. Immediately, the thief will spawn behind you, so kill him and then report back.
legend around here. Please, talk.
Now head back to Balmora and advance our rank to Lawman. You will now need to get sponsored by a House Hlaalo member to proceed. Then you'll need to go to Crassius at his manor, at the top of the Hlaalo canton in Vivec. He will request that you strip naked before he will sponsor you, the creepy fuck. His first mission is to spy on our next quest giver, Ordral Helvi, in Caldera. May just teleport over and head into the Governor's Hall. We can find Ordral in his room upstairs. Our first quest is to deliver an order to the treasury back in Vivec. For all of Ordral's quests, we can just do what he says, but we can also take an alternate path with Crassius. In this case, Ordral's orders are suspicious, since we are asked to avoid taking them to the head of the treasury, presumably since the orders are some shady stuff. Instead, he asks us to take the orders to Tanisi Ladril, the assistant. The best option is to hand the orders to Crassius for extra gold, and as far as Ordral is concerned, the orders were handed over as he asked.
I would consider it a privilege.
Our next quest is to recover some stolen mining contracts, and kill the thief that stole them. The thief is here in town. Asking around will point you towards two newcomers, but El Musa is the one we need. Her house is on the northeast side of town. Boost her disposition to above 80, and she'll let you take the documents. You have the option to kill her, but I recommend letting her live. Report to Cassius first and tell him the truth about the thief.
I'd be happy to talk. My pleasure, really.
When you report back to Ordral, lie to him about the thief. Our next quest is to replace some documents at the Hlaalo Records Hall. Since Ordral is a shady bastard, it becomes clear we are just stealing some land deeds for him. There are three methods here. The worst one is to do as Ordral asks and replace the deed. A woman is staring at the chest we need, so an invisibility potion or spell will be very useful. The other two options are better ones. We can report this attempted land steal to the landowner himself. We can find Robon Arvel at his plantation north of Vivec. We get an enchanted ring from him, which is very good for thieves, as it improves your sneak skill and makes you invisible when used. We'll have to hand something back to Ordral, so head to the Hlaalo Records and buy a copy of the land deed from Baron Allen.
Please join me.
The best option is again to report this to Crassius. You'll get an amulet which can command creatures and humanoids. We will also need to buy a copy from Baron again doing this path. Take the real or copy of the land deed back to Ordral to complete the quest. Our next quest is to collect rent and taxes from two farmers. The shady deal with this quest is that the farmers don't actually have the gold. and Ordral knows this. He's setting us up to kill the farmers for failing to pay. Report this to Crassius and he will give you 500 gold to cover the cost. There is another legitimate way to get the gold, and that is to speak with one of the debtors, Loven. He will give you a Guar called Corky to cover the debt. You will then have to escort Corky a long way northwest to Drillian Fallon's farm. Save before setting off in case Corky gets stuck on the environment.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
Whatever you want to do, head back and hand the gold over to complete the quest.
Serve as Outlander.
For Ordral's final quest, we are asked to deliver Ebony to Aldrune. The truth here is that we are actually aiding him to smuggle the Ebony. The best option is to report this, but if you want to do as Ordral asks, then silk right over to Aldrune and give the Ebony to Drinal Varjon, then report back to Ordral.
Your service, Outlander.
For the good path, report to Crassius first, who will then ask you to report this smuggling attempt to Segnivus at the Aldrune fort.
My pleasure, really.
Silk right over and head into the fort, tell the truth to Segianus, and he will arrest Ordral and Drinal Varjon. Now head to Crassius for his next quest. He will ask you to get an outlaw to pay a bribe to House Hlaalo. Take some boats over to Hlaalo and ask anyone about Velfred the Outlaw. You will learn that his boat is within spitting distance of town. Raise his disposition to above 75, and he will agree to pay the smuggling fees.
May the wind be on your back.
Recall back to complete the quest.
My pleasure, really.
Leaving Crassius alone for now, head to St. Dylan's South of 1 to find our next quest giver, Ebony Trade, who is probably the nicest person in all of Morrowind. Her first quest is to provide books that teach people to read to the Aldrune Mages Guild. We need to get 2 books, which we can buy from the bookseller in Aldrune. Buy ABCs for Barbarians, and the annotated Annuad, then deliver them to Bala Castro at the Mages Guild.
Sarah.
You want something?
few moments, if you care to talk.
Before we can get the next quest, we need to free a total of 20 slaves. I'll show you where we can free the slaves that won't affect any other quests. Head to Sedanin and nearby is Adamasartus. Tanisi Verefi has the key for the slaves. We can then free them once we have the key. This first batch will have 3 slaves. West of Sedanin is Ahoronatus. We can find the slave key on top of a chest, and then we can free 4 slaves. Next, let's take a boat over to Dagon Fell and head south to Rotharan. If you haven't got it already, we can take the Propylon Index off rules in the communal hut. Head into the arena and kill everyone on the upper floor. If you haven't done the Imperial Cult, then make sure to keep the Ice Blade of the Monarch and grab Adusumi's ring. Downstairs in the pit we can free 10 slaves, and you can find Adusumi. Give her the ring back to save her. She does not count toward the freed slaves.
What do you ask of me?
Blessed we are. One day to you, friend.
Its scent is unfamiliar. One day to you, friend.
One day
I'm listening.
friend.
Go ahead.
Next, Siltstride to Guinesis and head east to Arsenud. Inside we can get the key from the orc guarding the slaves. Free all of the slaves here, and after freeing the 20th slave, that will let us know the secret code to the Twin Lamps.
The traveler seeks answers.
The Outlander seeks answers.
Warmly greeted, friend. Welcome. Warmly greeted, friend. Welcome. You are
Now we can do the next quest, which is to save a slave who has been hunted in Aldvelofi. Take a Siltstrider to Guinesis and head north. There are 3 slave hunters here. We'll need to boost each of their disposition to above 60 to convince them to leave, or taunt them into attacking you and then kill them.
you in Masera.
Once they're all convinced or dead, you can escort the slave, Jasada, to the docks in town. He'll be hiding in the Daedric Shrine nearby.
I'm listening. Go ahead. New acquaintance.
Our next quest is to free another slave at the Dren plantation north of Vivec. We need to free Hides' Foot. Save before talking to him, as we will be attacked by the plantation's guards. Ideally, you just want to leg it, and run away from the guards.
Get in. You're dead already.
We'll need to escort Hides' Foot northeast to Sturdakan's farm.
Thank you.
Report back to complete her final quest. Now head back to Crassius and rank up to House Brother if you're not already. Try and rank up again, and we are told that we need to build a stronghold first before we can proceed. Head back to the Balmora office and speak to Dondos Driller. This will start the stronghold construction, but we'll need a construction contract and we will need to buy the land to build it on. Getting the contract is super easy. Head to Ebonheart and speak to Velfred Dren upstairs. He will give you the contract in exchange for your oath to help the people of Morrowind. We don't actually need to do anything, just make the promise. Now head back to the treasury in Vivec and speak to Baron Allen. You can buy the land from him for around 5,000 gold. You can buy it from him like any other item from a store, so you can actually haggle if you want to. Return to Dondos to start the construction. Wait outside for 5 days and you'll get a journal entry. Check back in with Dondos and he will ask you to check in on the stronghold yourself. We can find it slightly south of Balmora. Speak to the orc who's building the stronghold for us. He'll give us an update, which we can then give back to Dondos. Wait outside for 5 days again, and then the first phase out of 3 for the stronghold will be completed. For now it's just a 2-story house, but we will upgrade this as we go along. Speak to Dondos to start the next phase. Now we need to claim an egg mine to contribute towards House Hlaalo. He points you towards the Shodan Rapley Egg Mine east of your stronghold. We need to do 2 things. Ask Dondos about the mine to learn we need to kill the queen inside, and then ask him about recruiting miners to work in the mine. If you haven't done the Tribunal Temple questline, I recommend getting Vivec's Touch by donating a Cure Common Disease potion to the temple in Genesis, and then touch the Mask of Vivec. You can then use the spell Vivec's Touch to cure the queen. Now we have a Cure Blight spell. Head to the mine east of our stronghold. Head inside and cure the Queen. Now the Queen is cured, we can recruit some miners. Really, we can only get one. Head to Genesis, and behind the temple is the home of Hlaalo Penzamuran. We can now recruit him to work for our mine. Report back to Dondos, and then wait outside for 5 days before speaking to him again to complete the upgrades to your stronghold. Before we move on to the third phase, we will complete some more quests. Head back to Crassius and Vivek. His next quest is to assassinate a House Veteran member, Lord Banden Indarys. He built a stronghold without permission, so killing him is allowed. So let's ride to Aldrun, and we can find his stronghold to the northwest. He will attack on sight, so let him hit you first just to be safe and then kill him.
You in.
Crassius' next quest is to gain support from another house member, Bero. Dram is hiding inside the haunted house at the top of the St. Olm's Plaza.
Please join me.
Dram will give his support if we beat his champion in combat at Vivek's arena. Head on over, but keep in mind that for the best outcome, we want to keep his champion alive. When his health gets low, he will yield.
Give in. You're dead already. I've had enough of you.
Head back to Dram to get his support, and then report back to Crassius.
This one.
Advance your rank to House Father for the next quest. We are asked to assassinate the Telvanni member, Reynel Uvirith. Reynel is in her tower, called Uvirith's Grave, west of Seyda Mora. She will attack on sight, kill her and then report back to Crassius. That's all of Crassius' quest complete. Let's go back and finish our stronghold. Head back to Dondos, who will say we'll need to deal with some bandits around the stronghold. We'll need to hire a guard for the stronghold and then deal with the bandits. Head into the Fighters Guild in Balmora and speak to Felania downstairs. She will hire a guard for us in exchange for 1000 gold. With the guard hired, head back to your stronghold to find him outside. He will tell you where the bandits are located, and will ask if you want him to go with you to kill them. It's up to you if you want to take him as a companion. Head south of the stronghold to find Zain Zipilu. Clear the cave out of bandits.
You're dead already.
Head back to Dondos again to start construction on the final phase. Wait 5 days again for the stronghold to be completed. Now for the final quest giver. Head to Ebonheart and speak to Duke Vedam Dren. He'll ask you to find a way to control the Ordinators, and point you towards the head of the Tribunal Temple. Head to the High Fane in Vivec and speak to Folar Saroni. He will ask you to recover a relic, the Robe of St. Roris, from Ase Manu, which is west of Vivec. We'll need a levitate spell or potion to reach the robe. You'll need a high security skill or spell to open the doors and chests inside the shrine. Save before entering, as it can be difficult inside. At the end of the shrine, you will find the robes in a chest on a ledge which you will need to fly up to. Take the robe back to Folar, who will agree to at least speak with House Hlaalo about influencing the Ordinators. Our next quest is to gain control of the Commander Tong from Orvas Dren, their leader. If you have beaten the main quest, then we have done this quest already, and it will automatically complete. If not, here's what we can do. Head to the Dren Plantation north of Vivec. We have 3 different ways to deal with him. The best way is to charm him into agreeing to a partnership with House Hlaalo. For the second method, you may have done this already during the Thieves Guild or Morag Tong quests, but downstairs are 2 hostile brothers. If you haven't killed them already, I recommend waiting until you get the quest from the Morag Tong. So at the very least, run around them, and then on the shelf inside their room is a locked chest. Inside the chest is an incriminating note against Orvas. You can show this to him to blackmail him into a partnership. And finally, the third option is to just kill him.
Go ahead. You
Head back to Vedam Dren to complete the final quest for House Hlaalo, and become the Grand Master of the house. That's all for this episode. Next we'll either do House Redran or House Telvanni. Thank you for watching, and stay awesome.